Namaste to everyone. Kindly come on your mats. We'll start the class by chanting Om 3 times, followed by 3 Shantis. So just sit up straight on your mats in any comfortable posture. Your back and neck should be straight. And now gently close your eyes. And just breathe, observing your natural breath. You can adopt any mudra with your hands and let your breath return to its natural rhythm. And now slowly start relaxing yourselves physically and mentally. Loosen up your forehead, neck and shoulders. Make sure that your arms are relaxed, your legs are relaxed. If there is an arch on your lower back, just push your abdomen in and finish that arch. Try to calm your mind with your breath. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale for Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Just feel the vibrations and sensations. Now we'll join both our palms together in front of your chest. And now rub both your palms together. Place them over the eyes. Let your eyes absorb the heat. Relax your eyes. And while blinking and looking at your palms, come back with a smile. Namaste to everyone. Welcome to Himalayan Yoga Association. I am Yogini Soumya and I will be taking your meditation classes. So the last time we discussed what meditation is, what is the general meaning of meditation and from where it is derived. We went into the meaning of meditation as per yoga, how Patanjali ji has described meditation and what is its significance in the entire process of attaining liberation. We also discussed how concentration and meditation are two different processes. So now when somebody comes to your class and you make them practice yoga, they generally have a big question, that is, why meditate? Asanas are giving my body the health that I need, and the pranayama is also giving me the health that I need and some mental clarity. My mind is calmed down by the end of the class. So why should I meditate? And for anybody who is getting in the process of meditation, it is very natural to have this question, this big why. So today we'll be covering why meditation. So we'll be discussing the benefits, the various benefits that meditation has to offer, and we'll be understanding each and every point as we go along. So now, as you can see, that I have divided all the benefits of meditation into three parts: the physical benefits that one derives, the mental and emotional, I have clubbed both of these categories together, and the spiritual benefits of this process of meditation. So now, as you can see, I have made all of these arrows. It's because one is interlinked with the other. If your mind, your mental and emotional level, if there is an issue in the mind, there are certain negative thoughts or there are certain negative emotions that you have, then it will show up on your body. And it's the other way around as well. When we get hurt, we fall down, then we experience pain in our mind. So same goes for our physical and spiritual. Now what happens is that when a yoga student sits for meditation and they start observing their breath or body or mind, they start experiencing pain on a physical level. They're not able to sit. They experience pain in their legs. They're not able to keep their spine straight. So what is happening over here? You need to understand this, that you are going into a very spiritual process, and that same thing is showing up in the physical form as well. So when you start meditating, you experience pain, and that is what is shown on your body. It happens the other way around also. So if I'm not fit, if I come in a category where I am unwell, how will I move ahead spiritually? I cannot sit up straight. I possibly cannot sit for a very long while. So it is very important that to go on a spiritual journey, your physical health should be in a state which is healthy, And same goes for spiritual and mental and emotional. Both of these things are also interconnected. So when a person sits for meditation, they start experiencing a lot of overwhelming emotions and thoughts. So what is happening over there? That their spiritual journey is somewhere hindered by these thoughts, by these emotions. And it's the other way around as well. That when your mind is not stable, people who suffer from depression or anxiety, these things, they're not able to sit for meditation for long. They try, but they're not able to prolong their time of meditation. So it's very important to establish health in your physical, mental and emotional stages, so that you can move towards the spiritual state where you are able to take meditation for liberating yourself. So we'll start with the physical benefits. A lot of research has been done on meditation. It's a very common topic these days. As you know, COVID is going on. All of us are in lockdown. So a lot of people have started meditating. They have started seeing the benefits of meditation. And now when they Google, they see that, oh yes, a lot of research has been done on this. What is happening to me physically? So we'll start with the first point, which is blood pressure. So it has been shown in multiple studies that as one sits and meditates and goes on with this practice for a while, the blood pressure goes down, which leads us to the second point, which is that the strain on the heart is reduced. Next is that the cholesterol levels go down. So what is happening over here? It has been shown that patients who are suffering from cholesterol problems have seen a significant improvement in their cholesterol levels. Bad cholesterol, it goes down because they sit and meditate. So now I'll first touch up on our last point. As all this point, the stress hormones are connected to the last point, which is the parasympathetic nervous system. So it has been shown that meditation activates your parasympathetic nervous system. Now we need to go into anatomy a little bit for this. So our entire nervous system is broken down into two parts, the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. And if you further break it down, then we see that in the peripheral nervous system, there is a part which is known as the autonomic nervous system. Now, the autonomic nervous system has two parts, sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system. So we are over here at the parasympathetic nervous system. So the sympathetic nervous system is activated when you are in a stressful situation, when you need to be alert. So when we go back, if we see that as human beings, initially we had to gather food, we had to hunt, we had to be aware that no animal comes around the community. We had to keep ourselves safe. So our sympathetic nervous system used to help us in all of those activities. But when we are going in a resting state, when we are going in a state where processes like digestion take place, that is when the parasympathetic nervous system is activated. So both of these systems have their own relevance. However, it has been seen that in the modern times, our sympathetic nervous system is overactivated because we are mentally stressed, we are physically also stressed somewhere. So we experience that the parasympathetic nervous system isn't getting enough time. So what is happening because of that? Processes like breathing are altered, processes like digestion do not get enough time to break down the food, because the sympathetic nervous system is always somewhere active. So now you understand that when we sit and meditate, the parasympathetic nervous system, which is a relaxative state, is triggered. Which leads me to this point where the stress hormones go down. So stress is a state of the mind, yes, but it shows up on the body physically as well, by the release of hormones such as cortisol and adrenaline. So what happens over here is that we see that there is a decrease in these stress hormones, and hence we feel much more relaxed even on a physical level when we meditate. Now again, the next point is also connected to the parasympathetic nervous system, in the sense that when we eat our food, then if we get enough time to digest it, if our food is digested properly, then naturally our energy levels would go up, and we'll see that our immunity also goes up, and our quality of sleep, because now our parasympathetic nervous system is activated and we're not in a fight and flight response mode, we're able to sleep easily, and the quality of your sleep also increases. It increases by a milestone, in fact, when you see that you are in a relaxed state of mind. When the body is able to break down the food properly, and each and every cell is able to absorb that broken down energy form properly and then further break it down to produce energy, then we see that all of this shows on a physical level. So now, as we've discussed the physical benefits, as you can see, there are multiple physical benefits. So yeah, next time somebody asks you that, what can I see when I meditate? So the physical level is something you can see, you can say. So all of these things you can observe yourself when you meditate. We'll be moving to the mental and emotional level now. So both of these are interconnected, yes, and the emotional level is a subtle form of the mental level. So now thoughts are something we can still see, but emotions are something we experience. Emotions are something we do not have a control over, and we do not even understand how those emotions turn into thoughts. So this is subtler. So I have categorized both of them together because they are very interconnected. So we see that when we start meditating, there is a heightened sense of awareness towards our external things. When you open your eyes after meditation, you see that you're able to see things better. All of the colors that were around you are now somewhere more colorful because you see that your senses are somewhere enhanced. All the voices that you hear are, they're even sharper now. Why? Because you're able to access your senses in a way that your mind is now calm. So now you're able to connect with your physical body more. So it leads to a sense of awareness, heightened sense of awareness. It leads to clarity and compassion. So once your mind is, the frequency of the thoughts reduce, you see that there is more clarity. You're able to make better decisions. You're able to plan better. So meditation helps you with all of these things. And because you are so peaceful and calm inside, you see that you are now able to be more compassionate towards the people, situations, and things around you. There is again an increased sense of calm. We see that the focus and creativity also increase. So once you are able to focus all of your energy towards one point, that is when the creativity comes in. So if I want to work on a particular project, then if my mind is distracted, if it goes in various directions, then I'm able to see that the one thought that I have, maybe it would be an idea for a book or maybe for a particular painting. So I see that once I'm able to concentrate all of my thoughts and energy towards that one idea, then I see that I'm able to tap into my creativity more. It's an amazing practice for all the artists out there who really need to get a hold of their creativity. Your self-awareness also goes up. So not only are you connected to your body more, you're able to experience everything around you better. You become aware of yourself. You see how your breath moves with each and every thought. You understand how your thoughts are working, what is the pattern of your thoughts. You see all of these things, and because of that, when you get this understanding of yourself, you see how you're dealing with situation. There is a heightened sense of awareness, self-awareness as well. Now, there is an ease in psychological symptoms for anxiety, depression, and stress-related pain. So what is happening over here? Once one starts meditating, they're able to see their thoughts better. Once you become aware of your thoughts, you see that either you're thinking of the future or you're thinking of the past. When one thinks of the past, it turns into depression. And once one is in the thought process of worrying continuously about the future, they experience anxiety. So they're two sides of the same coin. So when you start meditating, you somewhere are able to release certain symptoms of these two conditions. And you see, as you meditate, as your practice becomes continuous, the symptoms go down, and even some people are able to heal these mental conditions through the practice of meditation. Stress-related pain. This is a very interesting point. So I remember when I was young, we had to go and get vaccinated on particular days. Now I was really afraid of being vaccinated, that needle, and I had this fear. So I remember the entire day we used to be at our grandparents' house, and the entire day me and my sister, we were like really stressed. Oh my god, we're going to get vaccinated today, we'll go in that particular room, and then the nurse will come and then she'll take out that needle, and all of these thoughts were going on within, and they were causing some sort of pain to us. But once we went there, we just went into the room. We couldn't say anything, we were kids, we couldn't run away. We just used to be there, and the nurse used to come and she used to vaccinate us. And it was just a fraction of pinch that we felt, and then it was all gone. So what is happening over here? The entire day we were stressed, and there was some pain that was being induced in our mind and probably even on our bodies. But the moment that we were stressed about was just so quick, it was so quickly gone that there was no need to stress about it. So now if you think about this, how do we live our lives? We're constantly stressed about something that might happen, something that might go wrong. And we're constantly in this state of stress-related pain. So when you start meditating, you become aware of this pattern of your mind. And you're able to slowly and eventually calm this down, understand that those thoughts are not serving you, and just eliminate those thoughts. Now, it helps us to be more in the present. So as I told you, depression and anxiety are two sides of the same coin. Either our mind goes to the past or it goes to the future. So what meditation helps us to do is to see what is there right now with me and just stay connected with it, which is called being in the present. It helps us to cope with negative emotions. So once your emotional awareness, eventually you'll see your emotional awareness is also increasing. You're aware of how an emotion is coming up and how it's triggering a particular thought pattern and how then that process is going on. The entire cycle goes on. So once you're able to recognize your negative emotions, you're somewhere able to work on them. So the first step to healing yourself is being aware that there is a problem, right? You must have heard of this. So yes, this is the first step. When you meditate, you see these negative emotions, you understand them, you understand yourself, and then you're able to eventually work on yourself and come out of these patterns of the mind. Now, our last point in this category is change mindset and perception. Now, right now, I'll tell you an activity that you should do after the class. So you'll just go grab a pen and paper and just write the number 5 in 10 different ways, okay, after the class. Once you finish this activity, you will realize that the number 5 can be written even in more than 10 ways. Yeah, I just put a number 10 to it so that you can see how you can play with that number. But you'll understand that that same number could be written in so many forms. And that is what perception is. If I'm looking at you from a particular angle. And as you meditate, you realize that we're not seeing the thing as it is. We're seeing the thing from a particular angle. And it is only because we have a particular mindset. So what happens during meditation is that you're able to see this mindset, and if it doesn't serve you, you're able to break that mindset eventually and shift your perception from one place to another. So you're able to think that, okay, maybe 2 people are involved in an argument. So now you're able to see why the other person is arguing in that manner. What is that person's point? You're able to leave your shoes behind and step into their shoes and see why a certain thing is troubling them, and it helps you to deal with your day-to-day situations better. So I think now we have filled up our bags with more and more benefits of meditation. Now we'll move to the last category, which is the spiritual benefits. Now, as a yoga student, you're not just here for the asanas or pranayama. You understand that it is a long path, that asana and pranayama are just a part of yoga. But the final goal is to be liberated from this cycle of birth and death. The final goal is to reach a state of moksha, or as Patanjali ji called it, Kaivalya. So, meditation leads to moksha. It is a step in the 8 limbs given by Patanjali ji, and a continuous state of meditation leads you to samadhi, and that samadhi will eventually lead you to your final goal. Now, intuition goes up. Now, this is a very common word that is coming up these days, intuition. What is it? What is this intuition? It's this inner voice that you hear, and it's not the negative inner voice that you hear. Intuition is always positive. Intuition is always supportive. Your intuition would always tell you that if you're standing on a crossroad, maybe the environment around you is telling you to take path A, but you know that path B is better for you. So there is a voice that comes from inside of you that go for path B, go for path B. But because we're not connected with ourselves, it happens with most of us that the external sounds are heavier on us than the internal sound. So when you start connecting with yourself, you see that the sound that comes from within, which is right for you, is getting stronger. You're able to hear it more. You already know what is going to happen around you. It's because your intuition increases. Now, the third point is works on wisdom enhancement. So we all know we should practice yoga every day. We should do pranayama every day. We should do meditation every day. But how many of us are actually doing that? We understand the benefits. Now we've gone through almost the entire class of the benefits. But still, we cannot take out those 5 or 10 minutes, or maybe even 1 or 2 hours during the day to give to these practices. So we have the knowledge, but we don't have the wisdom. So when you're able to implement your knowledge, everything that you know comes into your life and you're able to actualize it, you're able to live that. That means that your wisdom has increased. So with meditation, you see that your wisdom is enhanced. You're able to now implement more things into your life and see how drastically they are changing your life. Last point for the day. It's discovering purpose and finding fulfillment in life. So you need to understand that if you're over here, you probably consciously or subconsciously understand that you have a greater purpose in life, that this life is not given to you just like that. And once you get this realization, you start looking for that thing, which is your purpose. And unless and until you don't find it and fulfill it, you do not feel satisfied. Even someone who has not recognized that they have a higher purpose is not satisfied, because they do not even have the understanding of why they're not satisfied. But now you are aware that maybe, yes, there was some understanding within you. So everyone who is over here right now has a purpose. And when they go on their life purpose, they see that they find only satisfaction, only fulfillment, and only abundance. So meditation helps you to understand what your purpose is and then pursue that purpose to achieve fulfillment in life. So now we have covered the benefits of meditation